picnic. We nearly posted a video of us prepping because it's been a flurry of activity this morning.
We haven't stopped. It's been great.
And all around us we have a multitude of projects going on that we thought we would share with you. Hi Mary, hi Jill.
Hi.
We're having a fun week this week because we couldn't think of any new furniture to do this week. Sometimes you need a change.
But we knew there was lots of bits that needed doing.
Yeah, and this month in our Painting Over Borders group, hi everyone, we are doing staging, which I'm really excited about because it's not my thing actually, it's Malia's thing. She comes from a big background of designing, so we're all really looking forward to it.
That's going to be really good.
Agonisingly aware that I have got very little in way of staging stuff. Amanda's much more equipped on the staging front than I am.
I have got quite a bit of stuff, but I need more.
And I've often borrowed stuff, but really what we wanted to demonstrate today was that you can make staging stuff. You don't have to go out and buy old antiques. I mean, you can if you want to, but you can make
You've
stuff
probably got loads of stuff in your
home for very little money. So that's what we're about today, sort of all sorts of projects that are going to be in various stages that we're going to show you. Hi Sharon, I'm leaning forward because the camera's a little bit further away and we're going to struggle.
Apologies, I can't see any of you,
so
any of your names.
So that you could, we could get you both all in, both of us in as well. So we will come back and comment. So, well, go on. What are you doing?
Right, well, I've already started because she just talks for England. This you will recognise as being an old kettle, and it was lovely in its day. It was an old Le Creuset, and it's been really...
Le Creuset? Is it Le Creuset?
Yeah, that's what I said, Le Creuset.
Oh, right, okay.
Didn't I?
Started already.
Picking on me already. Tell her, will you? Don't pick it on me. I'll tell. But yeah, it had been used at home, and then it had been used out camping. So it's seen... you know, it's seen better days, shall we say. It was absolutely filthy. But of course I love the old traditional shape. So this I'm going to be painting in white chalk paint, and I first of all I did a coat of spray enamel because I thought it would adhere better to the kettle.
Go on, I brought it in so that you could show. You probably sat on it.
What, on the spray?
Yeah.
No, that's not my enamel spray.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, it was a radiator spray basically. You spray your radiators with. So yeah, this is going to be now all lovely, and when it's finished, as I haven't done the bottom yet. Look how black that is from camping. It's great. So that will be stamped using IOD stamps. What else of products have I got? Oh, little goblet, little metal goblet. It was sort of brassy coloured and really ugly. So that's had its enamel treatment. It's still very wet and sticky. And that's going to get pretty much the same treatment as the kettle. So I'm going to be chalking over it. And then that will have moulds and all sorts of glamorous things and waxing going on. But you're not going to see that today. What else have we got? She's got exciting things. I got stuff.
I've had to be like quite competitive about it as usual.
I just gathered stuff over the years, I'm sure we all do. So this was an old satchel, brown, obviously.
That was a good shape. Yeah, but look at that, that's really nice as well.
It's a lovely satchel. So again, that's been sprayed.
Let's go back to the beginning. It's been in the washing machine, hasn't it?
She
rang me up and said I've put it in the wash to try and soften it up.
Because it's to be fair, it's such a good quality that it's really stiff, good quality, and I wanted it to be more saggy and old, but I haven't managed to achieve that, even in the washing machine.
She's going for her own complexion.
Oh, well, yes, I look like I've been through the washing machine. Yeah, oh God. So that's going to be decoupage. I've got these are fab, right? I know Heike, you're really into these, and some of you may have seen them used before. These are beautiful decoupage papers from Royce Hunt Bell.
We'll put a link underneath
from Recycled Treasures.
It's US based.
US, yeah.
They're big as well, aren't
they? They're huge and just lovely. So I've got a couple of those that I'm going to use.
Yeah,
show the peacock. Hold up, show it all around.
Collection going on here. if any of you follow Heike, you will have seen this featuring on one of her items.
Yep, and she's been using them on...
Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't that make really great on the front of a chest of drawers?
Yeah, suitcases. That was her recent one. She's done some lovely suitcases.
Really nice
Have a look at Heike's DIY.
We'll put a link to where you can get those from.
They're brilliant, and they're not expensive. You know, they're good value, and it's not expensive postage either, shipping, because they're just really, you know, just there's nothing to them.
Really nice.
So they're all lovely. What's my other oh yes, my favourite project. So I have got these old boots. Now these were originally white that I sprayed black years ago. Anyway, now what I'm going to do with them is I've painted the side panel here in white chalk paint, and I've put some sealant on your matte finish. Put some here, and I'm going to be decoupaging that with napkins. This sort of thing.
Got some vintagey napkins.
Where is he? Where's my little boy? Yeah, there he is. So
I like him.
This sort of thing. Yeah. So one side's going to be a boy, one side's going to be a girl. So they're going to be going on there. They're going to look so good. What are you up to?
Told you she had good stuff.
I got good stuff.
Right, well my first bit of good stuff is, this was given to me by my grandmother and her friend painted it. And it is a painting of Madame Juliette Brechania, who I've never heard of. I should have
Isn't
probably
it beautiful?
Googled. But it's actually hand painted. It's beautiful.
I think she should give it to me actually, because it's right up my street.
So what I did was, when I've taken it out of the frame, I put it back in obviously because it's precious, and I photocopied it and I've stuck it on a book. So I've spent the morning painting this old book. I actually really like doing all the books that I tend to do. I like dictionary, encyclopedia type books. I don't know why. But
I do, because they're old in their own right, aren't they?
Yeah, so I've done a couple of books, and I paint. Look, you can see I've even washed a bit down there, to sort of, because they were quite yellowy. And then I've stuck some moulds around her. I've literally just stuck that in place while we started. So that's sort of the starting point of that. But I tend to like to do. I've done quite a few books in my time, and they are for display purposes, and then someone always wants to buy them, so then I want to do some more. But I know, bothersome. So I tend to do, thank you for sharing, Reef. Yeah, guys, if you can share the live, that would be fabulous.
Yes, please.
Hi, Monica. So I tend to do a set, and the easiest way of doing it is going to a charity shop and just, they look at you like you're mad, because you're buying really random books.
Stupid books.
But it's about the fact that they sit together as a pile, one slightly smaller than the other, and then it works fine. So I've done a pair, and I shall be decorating them and making them look nice, but they're really nice staging items for the top of a dresser or something like that. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. We have Amanda and I have a kind of joint collection these days of ready-made resin mould. So we have a batch job because they're messy, aren't they? And
yeah, and if you just, it's our go-to box.
So when we sort of want to create something new, we go to our go-to box. And obviously they're no good for bendy projects, but they're pretty good for flat projects. So I shall probably use like one of those down the spine of the book as well, just to tie it in. That's probably something I should do.
That would be good, because then you can sort of put
I could write her name on it, couldn't
yes.
I? A tribute to my heirloom.
Title of the book.
So, I've then also got a bucket.
There's a hole in my bucket.
There's a hole in my bucket. It's had one coat, needs another coat. I'm going to do raised stencil on it, and I've obviously masked off the top so that we can keep it galvanised. So I should do something Frenchy on that. I got given quite a long time ago by a lovely friend of mine several vases. This is the one I'm going to be doing today, but they're different shapes, and I'm going to be doing this over the next couple of lives. This is a really nice shaped one. I'm going to do different things with each of them. And this one, I don't know if any of you seen I don't even know what it was called, the IOD. What's that?
Oh, I can't remember what the tutorial went under the name of. Blue flow
or blue flow, where it's the stamps on it. It's like it is an actual type of china, isn't it? crockery.
Yes, yes it is.
And they did a really good. We meant to try it all the way back then, didn't we? We never have, and this is quite a good shape for that.
It's
I
a good,
think.
yeah.
So we're going to have a go at that, but that will probably be on Saturday with Leah. And then my hubby's made me. Look at this. This is my exciting thing. Can you see this? This is what do you call one of those planks of wood? Scaffolding plank. And he's cut it up, and he's used. It's a bit steampunky because he's used these kind of brass handles.
Fork handles. And
he's made a set of 3, and they're a bit heavy, so I'm not gonna. But I'll show you 2 together, and they all fit like that. And there's another bigger one underneath, and they just make a really lovely rustic display on a table to put your plates or your vase or so on. And I'm going to use some hemp oil because they're obviously still drying, but they've got lots of lovely grain showing, so I don't want to paint them. I'm just going to put the hemp oil on them to finish them off and make them look gorgeous. And then he said to me, how much do you think they'll sell for? And I said, no, they're not for selling.
They're not for selling, dear.
They're for staging.
Oh, no, darling.
I've just spent ages on that. Thank you. Hello. Yeah, I like the boards too, and they're a really simple idea.
Gorgeous.
And actually, because the ones that I've seen, I have seen some like this. The original idea, and again, I can't remember who did it, and I was going to try and recreate, but she'd done it using a normal piece of wood with using the IOD barnwood plank to make the grain.
Right.
But she'd used like
could do that.
cast iron handles on it, and we started looking up the price of cast iron handles, and we were like really expensive. So if you happen to have some in your cupboard, great. But then
if you're handy,
hubby disappeared off to the van and came back with this idea, and I quite like it. It's got a sort of I don't know what plumbing tools, I guess.
Yeah.
Plumbing. Yes. But it works as a little tray.
It's fab. It really is lovely.
It looks all rustic and cool. So, what else have I got? Oh yeah, I've got. And I don't know if you saw. Yeah, you will. If you joined us last week, you will have seen my lovely commission piece that I was doing.
Yes.
Using this rice paper. This is a piece of rice paper I ordered off eBay, which is really thin. You can see the sort of grainy stuff on the back, but it's really pretty. And I ran out during that project, so what I did was I printed a load off onto normal paper and then used that to do my decoupage, and then I used some white
really
watered down paint to sort of blend it all together, and it worked. So I thought I'd show you how to do that today using this vase, because I didn't really know what else I'd do with this because of all the sort of lines, but it will work really well. And I've just kept my original bit of rice paper
to make a copy for me.
Yeah, Miranda said make her a copy.
I want one.
And unlike most sort of image transfers where I let the paper dry overnight, this is actually quite good to do pretty straight away, so that you almost get some blurring. So it looks less like you've stuck a piece of paper on and more like beautiful French vase. And obviously you get kind of like white edges, and you don't really want that, so we're going to lose all that. Hi Jopo, thanks for joining us. It's really early where you guys are. So I'm a bit more concerned because obviously this is quite a bumpy large surface, but I think it will be okay.
I think that'll work.
Yeah.
I think it'll give it sort of dimension, won't it?
So when you're using normal paper, not tissue paper or napkins, because Miranda's going to show you in just a sec with a napkin, but if you're using normal thick paper, strongly recommend with the matte finish wetting it up first, because it's thick paper, it soaks in really quickly. So I totally coat the back in it. I'm just laying it down so that I've got it all layered in, and then I go on my surface and get that all wet as well. So I want it sort of maximum wet, and then I can put the two. This has already started to go soggy, which is what I want. can sandwich the two wet areas together. So then it gives me a chance to push it in. If you don't do that, you end up with big bubbles where it doesn't stick, and then it really does look like paper that's just been stuck on badly. So we've had great fun this morning preparing all these projects. Amanda's been dancing.
I was on a bit of a is it hyper? I don't know. I was on a bit of a high, let's just say that.
And we were discussing her mental age at the point when, you know how when you blow across the top of a vase and it wakes up, every time the hairdryer went over it, she was doing that. Fits of laughter.
Just a lovely, really childish, lovely noise.
So I could just keep coming in with a and she just kept laughing.
I kind of reminded myself of Hannah.
I said to her, there's definitely a Hannah in her.
Oh, definitely. Right, shall I tell you where I'm up to? Okay, so I've got my two images. And while Paula was chatting, you might have seen I was just preparing this one, this lovely young lady, putting her boots on. I thought that would be quite appropriate. You've seen us do this before. When you're using your napkin, it's best to tear round rather than cut. And even where you've got that nice finished edge that it's bought with, tear that as well. And the reason is the fibres in the paper will really sort of spread out, and so it'll look like it's blended more than a definite cut line. So top tip, make sure you rip. Okay, and then what I did was I sort of pieced it onto the area I want to do. Obviously it's too big, so I just bit by bit pulled bits off, as it were, to get the shape that I wanted, so that I knew that my little girl would fit. Yeah. Napkins come in 3-ply usually. Get the odd ones that come in 2, but usually they come in 3-ply. So you take away the back 2, get rid of those, so you're left with that flimsy, ever so flimsy front piece. And then I'm just going to, I might use your method. I've never done your method before.
Oh yeah, I just...
See, because what Paula tends to do is just hold it in place.
Yeah.
And then use her...
Especially if it's curved surface.
Finishing cream and go over the top, just straight onto the top.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, what I've done in the past and normally do is put my finishing cream on first. Did you brush your hair this morning? Yes. Put my finishing cream on first and then the napkin. So I'm going to do it the other way around and see if her thingy works.
And now I've just put my second piece on and blended it, just literally put it over the top. Now don't worry too much about edges, it's literally like a game of patchwork, and it's going to be the last stage where I put watered down white over the whole thing where it will all blend and tone. So that's what's going to work. That's easy, isn't it? It's particularly good, this method on curved surfaces. She ain't saying I'm right.
You're not usually...
Hi Georgia. I'm not usually what?
Not usually right, but I'll give it to you this time. And the good thing about this, because these boots are, as you can see, they're meant to look old and grungy and sort of, yeah. So I don't mind if this cracks. Just want it to look aged.
So you could even, I mean, in the past I've done shoes before, and I just went to car boot sales and bought, and they're the kind of boots that you would never buy in a car boot sale to wear because they would look so old. But for this kind of project, absolutely perfect. So you can offer like 10p, can't you?
Yeah.
Or you pay me 10p, take
them away. Yeah.
So it's that kind of setup.
You know, so again, you don't have to be looking for expensive items.
No, definitely
Anything
not.
cheap and cheerful that you can put your own spin on, you know, with a little bit of time and effort, you can make your own accessories. And again, you know, these are just fun things for staging.
I should have got down my my wreath. I'll get my wreath down before we go, because that's another. I want to do some fabric staging things as well.
Yes, your tie-dye
Tie-dye wreath, which is the easiest thing ever. No sewing skills required.
And that's looking quite good now. Obviously I've still got the masking tape on, but you can get the impression. I'm going to let it dry before I take the masking tape off, because some of the paper is on the masking tape, and I just want to make sure that everything's stuck really well first.
It's really cool. That was from eBay, that particular napkin, if anyone wants them. There's a whole series of different ones that you've got, haven't you?
Yeah, there's hundreds.
If you just put in vintage
child,
yeah,
vintage
French, that will take you to it.
Right, I think this is.
And if you want this rice paper, I could actually probably scan a copy of this rice paper picture, if anyone wants it, into the painting group, and then you can just print it off. But if you want to actually buy a piece of the paper, again, I got it on eBay, and I just put in hydrangea rice paper, and that was because the customer particularly wanted a hydrangea. So, but it's actually really nice paper, isn't it?
It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
it really is.
So I shall keep my original and just keep printing it off. It's blending in really well. Just remember to wet the back of the paper first, then wet the surface, and then stick the two together, especially if that's different than if it's napkin. Napkin, I go straight in and just paint it over the top, because the napkin paper is so absorbent. That's like napkin, isn't it? What you've got there, tissue paper.
Yes, this is just your one, your one piece of as opposed to 3-ply. That's just your front piece, as it were.
I did try printing this off on tissue paper, but as I said last week, didn't I? I did the that's what happened. It's nearly a disaster. You see, it's all blending in really nicely.
Straight on.
I'm going to just put that to one side and let that dry a bit, because I don't want to bore you guys. I want to show you what this hemp oil looks like on this tray. Well, the other thing I've got, which I'm going to have a go at, you might have seen it, because I never remember the names. It came up on, I think it was on the DIY chalk paint page.
Yes, it was. It was.
And they've put image transfer images of silhouettes on the glasses, and I just thought that's so cool.
It's so cool.
So cool. So I've dug these hideous pair of sunglasses out from, God knows where they are, but I'm going to put something on them, because again, they just look really nice as a prop. Cheap and cheerful. So for those of you that missed, what have you just written, JPO? Sorry, I'm going to just bring the camera in. Let's see it.
I can't see because
we've had sustained winds at 45 miles an hour for the last 2 days, and gusts up to 80.
Flipping heck.
Christ. Yeah, I spoke to Malia, and she said like Jasmine's had to evacuate her home.
Really? What? Because of wet or wind?
Because of the winds, because they're literally taking the roof off.
Bloody hell. Excuse
so
me.
Stay safe, you Texas guys. We need you alive.
Right, I can't hold this up, I'm afraid. I'm going to do the back of the satchel.
This is all I do with this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just rub it on. So this is hemp oil, which is a fusion product, but I googled Amazon. You can buy hemp oil, it doesn't have to be fusion, although you get quite a bit for your money. Fusion.
Yeah, you do.
It goes
it's
quite
a nice
long way.
product. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, and it's going quite. I've never used it myself, but can you see the difference?
You won't look back, girl. You won't look back. I tell you.
Doesn't that look lovely on the top of the table that you've sanded back? Sort of farmhousey table. It's given it a lovely oak look. So get your plumbing equipment out.
Yeah, get your hubby out if you can't do it yourself. If you're not into your DIY, get your hubby out.
So I've literally used wood that we had left lying around in the garage, plumbing equipment, 2 old dictionaries, photocopier's been quite essential. I've got an old pail that's literally got dents in it, but I think it will look great.
Yeah, you might have something like that. Or even a plastic bucket you can do all sorts with.
Because you don't know.
You don't know what's underneath it. You're going to be decorating it.
And then Amanda's got an old pair of boots. They just look great.
So I'm doing a bit of my method and a bit of yours on this because I needed something to stick to make sure it's stuck.
Tack it down, sort
yeah.
of.
But yeah, I will admit your method's quite good.
I'll have that in writing afterwards.
So just placing it and then going over it. It's going on really well actually. There might be the odd wrinkle in it, but again, it's meant to look old, vintagey, and this is just the perfect piece for it.
So when we've finished all our lovely projects and we've had our Malia training in the group on staging, we'll have stuff ready. And we've both been talking about, well, in fact everyone I know has been talking about in the group and out of the group about a staging wall.
Yes.
And whether or not, because I could do the staging wall here, whether or not we could all just have a staging party from wherever we are and just tune in.
Well, I quite fancy going with I've got a wall.
Have you?
I've got a wall.
A whole wall?
A whole wall. And like everybody, it's a bit cluttered at the moment, but it's the only wall I've got free to do staging, but it's boring. It's like an off-white, it's called Regency White, but you know, it's boring, it's dull. Functional. So I'm thinking of going in with a faux plaster look.
I love that.
When I get the chance to do it.
So you're going to plaster it?
No, I'm going to paint it.
Oh.
To give it the...
Yeah, you're going to do it with textured... No, I don't mean like that. I mean, you're going to do it with textured stuff.
No, just paint.
Alright.
Chalk paints. Okay. And when I do get around to it, and this isn't going to be for a while...
What's it that Manda is using? It's a paper.
I've got another one there.
I'll show you.
I've got a bit...
Just before
sticky.
I do, look, this is the hemp oiled one versus the non-hemp oiled one. Quite a difference. Suddenly makes it all look lush, and it's really moisturising as well, isn't it?
Yes,
Hence
yeah,
the
it
word
really
oil.
feeds the wood.
This is paper. We will put a link underneath. It's whole great sheets of gorgeous. Well, it's not rice paper, is it?
No, it's just
tissue
decoupage
paper, I
tissue
guess.
paper, yeah.
Decoupage tissue paper from the US, but it's because it's obviously very light. It's not particularly expensive to ship. Travels well.
And that's recycled treasures.
And look, she's got a stunning peacock one. So it's really good for big pieces. That would go down the whole front of a reasonable size. Well, that would cover my bureau easily.
Yeah, and you can use the whole sheet. You can use bits of the sheet. I mean, they are fantastic. And I just happen to know that she's come out with some new ones as well. So go and visit that.
So I need to decide what I'm going to do with my... Those of you that missed the beginning, this is a little portrait that it's a real life portrait that I inherited from my grandparents, and I photocopied it and I've stuck it on my book, and I've put moulding around it that I obviously now need to blend in. So I might use... We're having a right picnic feast here. It's like
picnic without the food, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
like,
just goodies.
what can I do next? Love it. And while one thing's drying, we're just picking up another, and it's quite cool. Okay. So I've got a couple of acrylics that I think I'm going to go in with.
Okay, right.
Yeah, there is loads of things you can do with books. I've literally done some of my mixed media stuff with books as well, like cutting out strips of material and texture.
And the thing is, we're doing quite sort of pretty French-inspired bits and bobs at the moment, but you can do this, you can adapt this for any look really. You know, if you want to go down the gothic route, if you want to do a Halloween.
Well, we did Halloween
kind,
once, didn't we? One of our old paint and pints was Halloween, and we did big books.
Yeah, and you can theme
Spell
it to
books.
whatever it is that your piece deserves.
Oh, I can't get this off.
Oh, they are a bugger. Right, okay, just give you an update on this. Obviously this needs to be left now because it's wet, but the paper was slightly bigger, as you can see, than what I wanted, although I could use it down the bottom there, couldn't I? Yeah, that would sit quite nicely at the bottom. I deliberately didn't size it because what I'll do is when this is dry, I'll just rip off the excess pieces. Okay, and it'll need a couple of coats of finishing cream to make it tough and durable. So yes, I will take this round onto the base.
Abandoned my book for now because I can't get the thing off, so
I'll have a go in a minute.
I'm going to just give this a quick coat because I'm going to put a raised stencil on this. Those of you that watched last week, I was having real trouble with my raised stencil.
Yes, you were, weren't you?
Getting it to show with waxes and so on. Oh, it was on one of my lives anyway. And basically, I didn't make it raised enough, was the bottom line. So I had to go back in, sand it back and put thicker. So then the wax and the glazes stuck to it. Absolutely fine.
But my galvanised trucks, they had the raised stencil, but I used a different medium.
Yeah, you use.
So
I'm going to try it.
You're going to try that this week, aren't you?
And it's De La Raoult. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it from Hobbycraft,
Arts,
which is our local art supply. It's our kind of
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby. It's not like the cheap shop, you know, that you might be able to get like
no, it's
you have
proper
Walmart
artist
and
supplies,
what have you, don't
it?
you? Yeah, this is a proper hobby place. So equivalent to USA.
You don't go in there unless you've got less than £100 in your pocket. Trust me.
Yes.
Dangerous.
It is dangerous. Don't take
What was
a
the
trolley.
quote my husband sent that day we went shopping? Always hold on to your wife's hand when you're shopping.
Yes, it looks romantic, but actually it's economic.
Because if you let go, she darts into shops and starts spending money. Yeah, it's actually economic. Yeah, it looks romantic.
Okay, so I don't want this paper to go back on itself. I want it to dry so that I can rip the excess off later.
And even if you've got a few gaps on that, lumpy bits, you can go, once it's dry and less fragile, you can go back in with more matte finish, can't you?
Yeah.
And push the lumps down.
Fill it in.
And even if bits tear off, to be honest, you can just go in with bits of paint. Yeah, that's... Yeah. And touch it up.
I want this to have a sort of a vintage vibe to it.
I've got paint on my trough now.
No!
No.
You silly moo. That's not sitting how I want it.
It does look nice though. I like that.
Right, so that needs to dry.
That looks really nice.
It does. Very pleased with this, and it will just, you know, as it dries, I'll put a couple more coats on it, and then I can address the front as well.
From California.
California? How's things in California? So,
Apparently you get earthquakes in California and tornadoes in Texas. This is what I'm learning.
We are learning a lot actually about the geography of the USA.
Goodness, I don't understand.
I only found out yesterday that California is next to Nevada.
Nevada?
That's where they, you know, they have all the gambling and the desert areas. So correct me if I'm wrong.
I've never heard of it.
Nevada.
I've heard of Nirvana.
No, that's a group, isn't it? Nirvana.
Well, it's something more important than that initially.
Some of this isn't sticking down with your method, you know. So when it dries, I hope it sticks. Right, what shall I go on to next? Oh God, why did I do that? I knew it was going to be wet. Why did I do it?
She is so messy.
I am messy. Actually, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go outside and whiz this. Because I would like to start getting on with this.
This is covering really nicely.
So excuse me.
I look very. Did you say Vegas? Vegas is where you do the gambling. What did you say? Nevada.
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 Do they gamble in Nevada? Somebody help me out here. JPO? It was on The Mentalist.
Every time I ring her up for a chat, she says something really random, like, you do know Miss Marple's on?
I ignored 4 of her calls last night. Didn't tell you that, did I? You probably thought I was busy.
No, she didn't.
I ignored 4. Then I thought, oh, bloody hell. Don't you know Miss Marple's on?
And she says, I'm just about to find out a crucial bit. And I said, well, she dies.
Oh, me hips.
And then they all live happily ever after, so you can stop watching now.
Just city downy picnics are not good when you get to my age. My hips gone, my knees gone.
I can't believe you ignored.
Sorry. I only admitted that to our viewers. I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to make up some excuse like, oh, I was in the bath. Do excuse me, I was in the bath.
She's discovered in the UK, I don't know if it's a US thing, but she's discovered Midsummer Murders.
Can I plug this in on this plug?
That she's
Can I plug this
never
in here?
seen, and there's like 100 episodes. So that's her out for like, well, I don't know, it's been about 2 months now. And she's now completed it. Thought I might have her back. And now she's found Miss Marple. So I'm stuffed. So, goodness. You're supposed to shut the door.
Sorry.
Midsummer Murders is brilliantly dreadful. Yeah, I know it's good, but it doesn't come ahead of your friends, does it? You don't say, sorry, I can't speak to you. Most of us press the pause button. Right, okay. So, I'm going to have a whole ton of lovely staging items. I wanted to show you this because I really discovered this by accident, this decoupage technique using normal paper, which is a bit of a game changer for me because I'm normally always having to wait for napkins or research which napkins I want, and this means that you can print off what you want, and it's just about wetting the back of the paper before you put it on and wetting the surface. And then the last stage is a very diluted white paint, wiped on when it's all dry, wiped on and then wiped back off again quite quickly, and it just blends all the edges together and makes it look all old and vintagey. And it just looks lovely. You can hardly see the design is quite a randomy one anyway, but it's going to look like a really lovely vase. Hi Debbie. Don't tell me you're a... I watch a lot of BBC programmes in America. Do you? Midsummer Murders.
I'm back. Did you miss me? Please say.
I like Midsummer Murders. I don't have anything against Midsummer Murders.
Do you hear that click? That's my hip just clicking back into place.
Investigating your murder soon.
Really? You heard it here. If I do disappear, you know where to go first. Right, so this is dry. Just about. I want to go in and stamp this, and then what I'll do, because I want it to give it the faded look, so I'll go in and stamp it, and then I'm going to give it a very light white wash over the top of those stamps.
I'm doing a light whitewash, you just copied that. Get your own ideas.
Your own ideas, yeah.
Be original.
Be original. Don't paint my paintings. Be yourself, girl.
Everyone else is taken.
Yes. On that note, what shall I go in with?
There was a good video posted in our group this week and by someone about exactly that, copying people's ideas or taking credit for other people's ideas. And I just think it's a bit of a learning curve, especially when you're new in the business, because you see a picture on Pinterest and you think,
yep, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah, I like that, I want to have a go at that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, but I think the point that I've definitely learned over the years is that you say where you found the picture, and if it didn't have a name on it, then you say artist unknown, so that you're just acknowledging that you've taken somebody else's idea and been inspired by it. I mean, in an ideal world, I would like to say, especially these days, I don't want to do a direct copy of someone's work. I want to I would like to be inspired by lots of people.
You should
have a go at a technique. Have a go at a technique, but do your own thing, because
do your own thing.
You are wonderful.
Thank you, I am.
I didn't mean you.
I am a little tiny marvellous. Right.
What kind of printer is... No, this is just my normal inkjet printer. I bought this printer. It's a Kodak printer. I've had a recent Kodak crisis because my last printer failed and I had loads of ink left. So I bought this replacement for £5 on the marketplace, because actually Kodak have stopped making them and I had all this ink left. So I was like, ah. So yeah, it's just a normal printer. It's the cheapest ink ever and it's the cheapest paper ever. And I haven't waited for it to dry overnight. Very rude. Just something you want to say, Amanda?
Show and tell.
Stays on.
Stays on.
There's a link to Stays on my resources page on my website. There's a link to all of these products that we use. But yeah, this is a game changer for me. This was a piece of rice paper that I purchased on eBay, and I've just saved it and photocopied it. And I will scan an image of it if you guys would like it into my Paint Forum group, so that you can just print it off as well. See, it's just printed off a bit of paper. Yeah, did you want to say something, Amanda?
Well, I did, but now I'm doing all the wrong things. No, I was, yes, Stays On. We love Stays On. And we normally use, as you know, the grey, the sort of, what's it called, stone grey or something like that? Which is like it's a pale black, really. It's just like a charcoal and it's fab. But I wanted to go with the sort of Frenchy colours. So I'm going in with this red. It says red, but when it comes out, it's like a dark pink, to be honest.
I think I've got a small one of that.
Anyway, doing all that while I wasn't thinking properly, I pulled out the wrong stamps. So.
Is it quite bright in the...
Yeah.
I bet you that's quite fluorescent.
But
I think the colour on the side probably gives it away. Look at that, that's quite bright. You'd like a copy? Okay, no worries. I'll scan it into my laptop, and then I'll put it on in the Painting Forum paint group, which is obviously not our group. It's free for everyone to go in there, so I'll put it in there for you guys.
Right, found the ones I'm going for. I wanted these the rose toil stamps.
Rose toil.
Rose toil. Which I will show you. You might be able to see the example on the back of the page there. Oh, very pretty. So I'm going to be using those. So pretty. It needs to be fairly. I'll be using the fairly small bits, not that great big hoofing bit.
Hoofing. Is that even a word?
Hoofing great bit, stonking great bit. Right. So let's see what's going to work on here. Yes, we'll start with that one, I think. Oh, put it that way. Bits of...
Now that big vase I'm going to do, that's a rose toile, isn't it? It wasn't. To make the flow blue. I love that. Look at it. So good. You didn't sort out my acrylic paint.
Oh, do you want me to take
I
that?
had to abandon it.
Okay.
No, it's messy. I'll carry on with this. I'm quite enjoying this. It's quite therapeutic ripping up bits of paper. And don't worry about the little white bits of paper that are on the edges, because that's all going to blend in once we get our final coat over the top. And that's when it starts looking really magic, is the...
Can I just say, I've stamped this. It's got the reddy pinky ink on it now. But I'm going to take a little off just by placing my shop cloth on. I'm not going to, like, you know, press it down hard. Just lightly take a little bit of that off. Because I found when I was doing some blue, it just helped.
Stopped it being so in your face.
So in your face, yeah.
Could have got a lighter colour ink. Just saying.
Just saying. No, we're doing this thriftily. Remember, it's what I had.
Yes.
We are being
thriftily.
Thrift
like
is
that.
the word, is the word, is the word.
That's going to make a really nice vase, isn't it? A really nice staging piece.
Yes, I would agree.
Now, if you haven't seen it already, go to the Fairy Chic Friends group, because I posted a video there last night before Facebook died. Facebook died last night. Do you know what my night was like? It was like...
You must have been beside yourself. I didn't even notice.
She didn't even notice. I'm messaging Malia like, what's
Till
going
this
on?
morning it was on the news.
Can't do anything. Oh my goodness, it's not crashing, is it? Yeah. So, but before I...
Do you know what? Come the zombie apocalypse, you'd be useless.
I would. I am quite addicted to my phone and Facebook. It is the truth. But there we are. It is kind of my job too now, so I can be slightly forgiven.
Looky see, looky see, looky see, looky see, looky see.
Looky see. Oh, looky see.
Looky see.
Look, oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
It's really nice.
Sorry, you were saying? Were you saying something?
Oh yeah, the
They're
video
really
on
important.
Fairy Chic Friends of making your own petals and flowers.
Yes.
I'm going to have a go at that.
We are
We're going to
so
do that.
going to do that.
Maybe next week in like Blue Peter style.
In stages.
So because I thought another really lovely staging
So whoever idea that was.
super.
Super.
Yeah, we will name you by next week.
Yeah.
Because we'll have looked it up.
We'll have remembered. We did see it, but
I put some like handmade plate, because actually we really like the plate that it's in as well, didn't we?
yep.
We think we're going to have a go at that as well. So go
We'll
and have a
make
look at
some
the
of those.
video, because it's really cool. And they've made a plate. Now I don't even know if it was a paper plate or an actual plate. It could be either. I think you could make a fake one either way. But how nice it would be to have some kind of bowl. I might even look out for one at Molly's. A really nice bowl
Cheap
that
and
you can do
cheerful.
up and then fill up with homemade, never going to die rose petals that you've made. And how lovely that would be.
I think it doesn't matter whether it's, you know, a cracked vase that you pick up for £1 because nobody else wants it.
We're going to do that.
Yeah, we are.
So go check that out. We're full of ideas this week. We've been staging crazy.
We're on it. Staging crazy.
On it like a bonnet. Or a boot, or a... What is it?
Bonnets and boots, baby. Bonnets and boots.
That's what we call it. What do they call it? Trunks and...
Trunks and hoods.
hoods.
Doesn't sound the same as bonnets and
Yeah,
boots.
bonnets and boots.
See, you've got it wrong.
I commented to Amanda today that we have simultaneously started calling what we have called for years our pitch at Molly's Den. We have now started calling it our booth. So I
Totally unplanned. Just comes out naturally.
I
now.
entirely blame Malia for that.
Yeah. It's all on you. It's all on you American chicks with your booths.
Yeah, we're doing it automatically. So I'd like to know what phrases you've now taken on as a result of our alliance. I think quite a few of you have started using the phrase chuffed.
Yes, that was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Chuffed.
really chuffed with that.
Chuffing marvellous.
People kept writing on my post, I don't know what chuffed is. Is that a good thing?
Chuffed is a really good thing.
Chuff's a really good thing. Chuff's a, what did you just say a minute ago? Looky, looky.
Looky, looky,
Looky.
looky, see, looky, see.
Looky, see.
Oh, you're so pretty.
And the good thing with this stays on ink is it doesn't smudge. Like the second you put it on,
It stays on.
you can't get it off. You can't even scrub it off, can
No.
you? You can only paint over it. Yeah, that ink. She's showing off now. She's showing
Right,
off.
I'm showing off.
She's got a good bit. I said she had good stuff.
Bigger kids.
She had good stuff. But I've got steampunk trays.
Only because you got a hubby.
Uh,
I haven't got a hubby. I'm hubbyless.
yeah. I wonder why.
Well, do you know, I was talking to my friend about that. She's going on a counselling course, right? So,
Not me.
not you, no. My other friend, I've got two. So, and we were just trying to sort of, deliberate as to why I can't get or retain a man.
And what does she say? It's because you're bonkers.
Well, no, she doesn't say anything. She just leads.
Oh, don't you hate it when people do that? So, what do you think you should do about it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. So, how did that make you feel? I feel angry. I sense you feel anger. I'm sensing anger here.
Could you elaborate? Could you elaborate on? Oh my god.
She is funny though. She goes because they have to do because it's a course. She's not an actual counsellor yet.
You've got to have subjects.
Yes.
Are you a practice subject?
No, it's all done within the group. You see, so
Oh, they do it on each other.
they do it on each other.
And then they realise that they're totally screwed up and shouldn't. That's the only reason that they attracted themselves to it in the first
Yes,
place.
I think there's a lot of that, but Lindsay isn't. Lindsay's just
she is lovely.
she's totally down to earth and what have you, and kind of has to sort of invent problems when they're doing this sort of stuff. She hasn't got a problem to share or a bad past.
Quite a tough childhood.
She goes,
There was a
my
moment
dog's a bit poorly today.
My mum shouted at me once.
I know, even her mum's lovely.
It really hurt my feelings.
Oh, Mickey, you're so pretty. I keep finding little bits of that tissue paper everywhere. So I think I can fit one more in there.
When I went to my nurse training interview, and I'm a mental health nurse, and I was very young, and we had a kind of group interview going on, and so there were several of us there, and I took this interview process really seriously. I was dressed in a suit and all this business, and there was this girl there who was dressed in her hippie clothes, and we were sort of sat listening to them talking about the course and what was coming, and it was in Salisbury in the UK, and she put her hand up. I don't know if I told you this. She put her hand up and said, and he said, yes, you have a question? And she said, yes, how far is it to Glastonbury? Like, this is in our interview, like, Glastonbury is a renowned hippie place. And so he said, he was a bit thrown and said, well, yeah, I think it's about 45 minutes on the bus. So she said, oh, okay. So then he carried on talking a bit more about mental health and what we'd be learning. And then she put her hand up again. And he said, yes. And she said, where's the bus stop to go?
Was she actually there for an interview?
This happened. This seriously happened.
And she just lost her way?
And so he was like, well, I think it's in town. So again, went back to the stuff. And then she said, a bit further on, she clearly couldn't contain herself, put her hand up again and said, what, do you know what number the bus is? Like, this is like 3 questions in an interview about getting to this.
Did they keep her in?
She got in.
No.
She got in. And
what's wrong with her mental health then?
well, we were about 6 months into the training, and notoriously you lose quite a few of your candidates over the 3 years. That's a normal thing. And there were, I think, 14 of us to start with, and she was the only one we lost. And after 6 months, we did a day on schizophrenia, and she came home from the course pretty convinced she had it. And I wasn't that surprised, bless her. But yeah.
So which one of her personalities got the bus to Glastonbury?
No, that's very not politically correct. I won't have that on my shift.
Good God.
No, she was lovely, but you know, I think you could have kind of seen that coming, really, on the where's the bus to Glastonbury? Like, I couldn't believe it when I turned up, you know, a couple of months later, and there she was, and I was just like, there's no way she could have got in.
That's just fantastic.
That's a good story, isn't it? It's true. So, they do say there's a reason we're attracted to these kind of jobs.
You're nuts.
I'm nuts, yeah.
Nuts, whole hazelnuts, baby. Now, I want to do a bit of this around here, but I'm a bit... Because it obviously it's...
Haven't you got a bee or something? Something little?
I have got little things, but I wanted this bit to be floral. And then do the other bits sort of around.
Look, you're making my finishing coat red.
I haven't been in that. Who's the one that contaminates the paint?
She'd been here 5 minutes this morning. She'd killed my hair dryer. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did. But I fixed it.
She tripped over it.
Fixed it.
How are we doing for time? We're rambling on.
Oh, no idea.
With my mental health stories.
With your mental stories. Look what time it is.
Oh my goodness. We've been rambling on,
and you
guys.
never said.
So sorry. Now, it is so far away. I'm so sorry we've missed your comments and we've been rambling around, but we will go back as soon as we are done and answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yes, as always.
Please share this love. Look at that. So that's where I'm at. Let's just round it up now. So I'm at that. I've just got the neck to finish, and then I'm going to do some white blotting on it. So what I will do is I will finish that off. She's just having a little orgasm there. Look, she's got a floral spout.
Carry on, I'll have to do my show and tell in a minute.
I shall finish the paper, but I won't do the white on the top until I'm live and showing you how that happens. So, and then I will aim to have got a little bit further down the line with my book once I've got the acrylic pots open. So I'll show you how that's going on my live on Saturday with Malia. And I will have done a raised stencil on here too, so I can crack on the next stage of that as well and show you where I'm at.
Ta-da! Look at my kettle! So a bit more stamping to do on the top, need to paint the bottom, and then go over with a very, very light whitewash on there.
Very nice.
Just to sort of calm it down and make it old. This is looking pretty fab.
Let's take it off, go on.
Just take a bit of paper off.
Just got... I like her shoes. Go to the car boot sale, guys, and get some shoes, boots.
Oh, yeah. I will be waxing this as well, which will help to age it, so it's not going to look so white.
Oh, I think she's got two good reveals today.
Going to make it free in a minute. So I'm just going to take off the excess bits of paper, but look, and of course that, as I say, that's going to be aged, so it's not going to look white.
It will blend in.
It will just.
It's really
so
nice.
Kind of ignore that
Close
bit.
Close up. Look at that.
Da, 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 da. I'll do the other one to match, but in
that looks really nice, doesn't
it?
it?
And then of course we have the satchel, which is still just going on.
She's got 3 good things.
I'm just full of good things. And it's going to be, look, and the little bee just sits right there at the front. So that's going to be finished up, and that's going to look super sexy.
That's it, we're done.
We're done. Done, 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 done. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us
Good night.
on our staging picnic. If you want to learn what to do with your staging things, join our group and be wowed by Malia, who really is a wow on the subject.
I will be watching that
I can't
avidly.
wait for that. She's actually going to be doing some live interactive stuff. I can't reveal any more, but it's going to be exciting. Okay, I shall put a link to the group in there. I shall put a link to your papers
Yes.
underneath,
Yes,
and I
please
shall
do,
put a
so far.
copy of the rice paper in the painting forum. Go check out the thing on Petals on Fairy Chic Friends group. It's there. It looks really
Yes,
cool.
because I'm doing it.
Because we're going to be doing that next week. I think.
You're doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you doing
We're
it.
all doing it. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much
Cheers,
for joining
guys.
us.
Thank you.
Bye.